Please welcome Lee Hurst. So are you a dad dancer?
I used to be a good dancer. I was going to say I used to cut a bit of a rug, but then I'd put it on my head. You know, I used to be a good dancer, but not anymore.
Do you think it does creep up on you?
Yeah, but I think what I've realised is it is getting old, is because you actually just start to stiffen up. Yeah, exactly.
I know.
When I still think if I'm dancing to a record on the radio, I still think I'm dancing really good.
So you called it a record again. There
exactly.
you go.
There you go. There you go.
On the radio.
I almost said wireless. On the crystal set.
Do you think your dance moves are rooted in a certain era in time?
Yes, definitely.
Which one?
That would be the 80s. I'm from the 80s.
Box in the box.
No, early 80s.
Oh, earlier. What was
funk.
that?
Jazz funk.
I used to go.
There was a hustle.
I used to go to Soul Weekenders back in the early 80s. Yeah. And I used to have like a wedge haircut, if memory serves. Long time ago.
With Maze and Frankie Beverly and all that sort of music.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, that's great. That's like my dad twists everything. Doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter. I'm just going to twist.
It's keeping the spine going. That's the main thing.
It's
That's
good. Yeah, it's either that or aqua
Even or his
aerobics.
pants are too tight. One of the two.
So you're back on the road again?
Yeah. After quite a while, it's come around by accident, really, because I've got my own comedy club, and I demolished it 2 years ago because it's been redeveloped. I did demolish it deliberately, I should point out. Yeah.
Bad crowd.
Yeah, just parked badly one night, you know. And so I thought there was a delay, as there would be with a building project. So I thought to give the manager something to do, we did a kind of a little tiny tour. And we went out, did a few theatre dates, and I thought, I'm really enjoying this, so let's do a proper tour. So here we are, we're doing about 55, 56 dates.
Well, that's a big tour,
Yeah.
55
Yeah,
days.
but it's a lot more civilised, because we've done about a third before Christmas, and sort of about 6-7 weeks off, and then we do the other 2/3 after that.
Where do you start finding material for a tour like that? Because if you haven't done it for a while.
There's a little, do you know Bethnal Green?
Yeah, a little bit.
There's a little shop in Bethnal Green Road, and there's an old Chinese man there, and I get it from him.
Specific kind of humour, isn't it?
Yeah. Long wispy beard.
Yeah, I think that's hilarious.
Yeah,
What kind of jokes you want? Around the back.
It's a weird thing, though, isn't it? Because it's very easy to get safe, just staying in your own club and everything like that.
Yeah, but that was part of it. I kind of felt that it was really weird when I went out to other theatres again. Like, if you're playing the same club every night and you deliver a line to that direction, it looks the same every night. But then you go to different theatres, obviously there's a different look to it, different people, different parts of the country. It's made it more interesting.
Were you
again, I think.
nervous going to other theatres again?
No, I don't actually get nervous about anything. I really don't. I just don't.
Do you not understand what it is you're doing? Is
I
that
don't,
what it is?
I don't,
You don't
no.
understand the severity of the situation.
Have I had me dinner? I don't know.
Have you always been like that?
No, it started off when I went into comedy. I know this sounds really weird and a bit like Mr. Spock, but I decided it wouldn't be any good to me to be nervous on stage because the audience would sense it.
Yeah.
And
But we all know that, but we some of us
do
can't
it,
contain it.
no, it just kind of backed up into my real life. Like, if there's a loud bang, I'd get the adrenaline rush like anybody else, but I can suppress it almost instantly.
That's brilliant.
It's just weird. I think I've turned into a robot or something as I've got older.
So what's the theme of your tour?
It's called Too Scared to Leave the House.
Yeah.
And it was originally
In
supposed
China.
to... Yeah, exactly. It was originally supposed to be called The End of the World Show. Changed that to another title. My mates didn't like the new title. Changed it to Too Scared to Leave the House. And it's about people's fears. My original idea was it would be about, are you worried about global warming, bird flu, whatever. But it's ended up becoming more about personal fears. So I let the audience write down their fears in the interval, and then I work through them in the second half. And you don't realise how specific some people will be. There was this woman wrote down, I didn't know it was a woman at the time, and she'd written ageing. A lot of people write getting old, but I thought that's unusual. So I said, who is this? Couldn't see her. I said, you're worried about ageing? She said, yes. I said, what's the problem? She said, my friends say I look like Bridget Bardot. I said, right. And she went, have you seen her lately? Right? And I said to her, I couldn't see her, and I said to her, did you look like her when you were younger? And she went, no, right? And I said, what do you intend to do? She says, oh, I'm going to have surgery. She said, I'm going to have one of those 1 hour facelifts. And I said, you want to have it last longer than that? Otherwise... by the time you get home, you stand on your knees again, you know.
Oh, bless you. It's really good to see you back on top form again, because you know you have been under the weather for quite some time, haven't you?
Oh, I'm barely alive, Jane. I've worked it out on this tiny few dates I did. I used to talk about the ailments that I've got, which is asthma. I have ankylosing spondylitis in my spine. I've developed arrhythmia in my heart. I had acid reflux, and as I said to the audience, I seem to be stuck on A in the medical dictionary. I mean, at a pinch, this is alopecia. We could go I'm just moving my way through like that.
But you've taken up running again, haven't you? You've gone back to being. You look really fit.
Yeah, I've always run through my life, and then when I had this operation on my heart, they caught my phrenic nerve because they go in through your groin with a catheter, and they caught my phrenic nerve, which paralysed my diaphragm, which meant I couldn't take a full breath anymore. I went online like you do, and there was a forum, and this guy had written after a year I could jog for 40 minutes. I thought, I'm not having that, so I went out. This was about 8 days after the operation, and I did 2 miles in about 23 minutes. But it took that's very slow. But I sounded.
I thought that sounded good.
No, it was dreadful. And because I couldn't breathe properly, I sort of sounded a bit like a sex pest. I'm not going to lie to you, right? And I'm running along.
You didn't ring anyone up, did you?
No, as I'm running, there was a woman walking along in front of me as I'm running, and because of the noise, I was like that, right? So I held my breath as I ran past her. Because I didn't want to scare the poor woman, do you know what I mean? And then as I passed her, I started to breathe again, and I was basically dying on my legs. But I got up to 4 miles in very short period of time, and then I rejoined my athletics club that I left when I was about 13. And the first night there, they said, we're doing speed training tonight, and that was interesting.
Did it help, though?
It did, because prior to that, I had to stop gigging for a while because I couldn't really walk and talk. I was sort of going like that. So, but the rhythm came back with my breathing, so I was able to gig again. And then, fortunately, February 2011, my phrenic nerve repaired itself and the diaphragm is working again.
Would you put a lot of that down to, I mean, you obviously have a really incredibly strong, mentally you're very strong. You can, and you're saying about your nerves, you can just put it to one side. Do you think you just thought, right, I'm going to get over this mentally, and then physically it followed through? Yeah,
if you've got an ailment or a condition, I just break it down into components, and I look at the body as if it's a machine, and you go, right, well, that's not breathing completely right. So I thought if I improve my cardiovascular system, the short breaths that I am taking will do more for me if I'm fitter. So I just went down that route, and it's kind of how I approach it all the time. Same with my spine, and I laugh at it as well. I took my dog out late one night, and it's a walk that normally takes 6 minutes, and it took me 45 minutes because I could barely walk. It took me 8 minutes to get outside my building because I was in such pain. I got to the park to put my lead back on the dog before we walked the last bit home, and it was about 1:45 in the morning, and I just burst out laughing, and then I was hoping that nobody was walking past because I looked like a total nutter, to be honest with you. And then thinking, I thought he had a bad back, it's his head that's gone, do you know what I mean? But I just thought it was hysterical what was going on.
Do you know, it's really nice to see you all, back on tour and back and get out and support him, basically, everyone. It's called Too Scared to Leave the House, and tour is running till April. It's various theatres, and I know you're on near me, actually. I've seen your poster.
Where's that? Where's that?
It's in Surrey.
In Surrey? Is that Epsom?
Yes, it is actually. Now everyone knows where I live.
I'm going to come and see you.
Yeah.
But we will. Do you know, we'll all line up in the front row. Yeah, like that.
Worry about aging.
Am I allowed to say one thing as well, though?
Yeah.
Can I just mention?
Don't shout.
I won't. It's not too much of a plug, but I'm supposed to be doing a tour day at my club on February the 10th, the Backyard in Bethnal Green, but the hotel that was built above sprung a leak last Thursday, and the hotel was very little damage, but it's taken out all the ceilings in my unit below, so we've been put back, so we've had to postpone that to April 14th.
Oh, aren't we useful?
You're very useful.
You've got to do that. It's Lee Hurst, everyone.